So we're into the 12 laws of karma. What week are we today? Week 11. Can you imagine? I've been talking about the same series for 11 weeks. I've never talked about the same series for 4 weeks before this. But this is interesting because we get to explore this idea of karma from many different aspects. And so we start off with a very simple first law of karma is there is seed, soil, plant, right? The seed is your thought. When you have the thought, it gets planted in the law or the soil, and the soil gives you the thought. Ergo, that's where the whole idea of the New Thought movement came from. We're a part of the New Thought movement. It simply means it's not that we've got all these new thoughts. It's really ancient wisdom that we're bringing today, and what we're teaching is that with every new thought, we begin a whole new creative process. So it is done unto us as we believe, or it's the law of cause and effect working. So we understand that that's the basis of everything. So we've been talking about all of the aspects of how does this law work. And so today we're going to exploring law number 11, which is the law of patience and reward. And I want you to know, I see all of you, and you're not very patient. And because you're not very patient, guess what? No soup for you. Remember the soup Nazi? Think about that. That was really this law. The soup Nazi wanted you there. Baba Ganoush. You stand here, money, you get your soup. You had to be patient, you had to follow it. Well, there is a process of using the law of karma that requires patience. And that patience requires that you shift your mental atmosphere. And when you shift your mental atmosphere, it's about shifting your thoughts, your words, your deeds, and your feelings. It's all of them. You cannot shift just 1, 2, or 3. It has to be all of them, and you have to maintain that shift because it says patience. So you have to become it, and you have to remain it, and the law will make it so. So let's take it further and look at it. Our concentrated effort, mental and physical, cannot be circumvented through wishful thinking. All rewards require total commitment. You cannot invent, you can't bypass the law. The law requires the work. So many spiritualities teach, well, it's beautiful on Sunday. Here's my affirmation for today. And then the next minute, self-criticism, self-judgment, judging of others, making statements of lack in the world. You see, there's not a concentrated effort there. That's an effort where we are thinking that we can bypass it. That if I just say 42 affirmations today, it's going to happen. But no, you can say your 42 affirmations, but the next minute you're ripping a store clerk's. This was so fascinating last night. And there were hippies at here, the old hippies. And the thing that I've come to understand is you can't take the hippie out of people, or you think you can't take the hippie out. But there was this couple there, they were in their 60s, right? And she's got her long hair, and she had the band in her hair. She had the hippie-type dress, and she had the hippie sunglasses, the real round glasses. And he was there, and he was a tall dude. He was taller than I was. He was a big dude. And he had on this big lime green head bandana that wrapped around his head and hang down to here. He had this band coming across here. He had the peace sign on. He had the glasses. He had the flowered shirt with the flowered pants. And you say, whoa, this guy really still lives that stuff. So we were all standing around the gated area, right? And all of a sudden, because it wasn't going in and there were all these people, he was getting upset. And he called the woman that was there. These are all volunteers. And he called the volunteer forward. He said, hey, we're here. Let us in. This. And I mean, he was visibly upset. He lost his hippie. He lost that whole idea of patience, of being that presence. You see, being a hippie was really about being love in a chaotic world. But you see, it was too superficial. He had not embodied that truth. And that's what happens when we are in a spiritual community. Sometimes we're talking the game, but we're not embodying the truth. And we've got to learn to embody the truth. And the embodying of the truth is we must have a concentrated effort, mental and physical, that is completely focused on that which we desire, and it must be constant. You hear that word constant? I like to use the term, we must be persistent and consistent in our spiritual practice because persistency gets us the result, consistency keeps it. So you may all of a sudden you're going into abundance. Let's say you're going into abundance, you're going into abundance, you're going into abundance, and you're doing everything right. And all of a sudden abundance starts coming. And you get it, your abundance is in your life. And then all of a sudden, well, now I'm going to take it for granted, I'm going to go back to my old way. The old habit comes in, and what happens to the abundance? Out the door. Same thing with relationships. Relationships are the easiest one. Because what happens is people will enter into a relationship, okay? And it's what? It's at that point, it's the infatuation stage. And we all love the infatuation stage. That's when you hold hands, you look at each other, you giggle. Everything they do is cute. Infatuation stage wears off, not so cute. Sometimes it gets so uncute that people want to split. But they say, no, we're not going to split, we're going to come back together. So we come back together, and what do? We go back into our good behavior again. And then after a while, what happens? We split again because we weren't being authentic. You see, we can become the person that's in that dream relationship, but when we become it, it's who we are. We don't revert back. We stay in that realm. Do you see what I'm getting at here? And so by staying in that realm, we become an energy that accepts our partner where they are, and we understand that they're going to have their foibles. Isn't that a good word? Foibles. You know, I did not use the F word. The F word meaning fault. They don't have faults, they have foibles. You want to hear about my wife's foibles? God, she's got many of them. And I've learned to accept them all because it makes her who she is. It is not my right to tell someone not to have foibles. It's my right to accept them. But here's the key. When we're in relationships, and some of you know this really well because I talk about this all the time, we're only in relationship to support and grow each other. I like to say support and grow each other and have fun. But the purpose of a relationship, the only reason we're in it is to support and grow. If it wasn't for that, there's no reason to have the relationship. There is no reason when you think about it. If it's not for support and growth, why be involved with someone? Why not be free? Let's go live in a commune. Let's be free. So anyway, let's go on with this. Rewards of lasting value require patience and persistence. When you decide to make a decision in your life, you're not deciding to make a decision for a week or a month. You're making a decision and saying, I am not doing this again for the rest of my life. I'm choosing to be this for the rest of my life. And when you make that decision, you're setting a law in motion that law is going to be behind you, supporting you, guiding you, directing you, as long as you are in that direction. If you're not in that direction, the law is going to slap you upside the head with a cosmic 2x4 because you told the law that you were going to do it. You made a commitment to the law, and if you don't honor that commitment, the 2x4 of life comes across and it just whops the side of you across the head. I know. See this side here? There's a dent. We all get hit. No one is better than anyone about getting hit with the law. The law is hitting us all, but it's hitting us all differently based on the uniqueness of who we are. Okay? Rewards are not the end result. You see, that's where we've gotten into the illusion of this thing that we call the American dream. That if we do this, we will have this. The fact of the matter is, most people who live that dream and have it, all of a sudden they go, something's missing. And that's where most addictions come into place. Because once you start to realize that the having of something is not enough, you're going to try to what? Numb. You're going to try to escape. You're going to try to get out of the reality. I don't have it. I don't have it. Instead of understanding that the person you are becoming is really the person who's going to become even more. So it's a constant journey. So what I've really come to understand is that this journey of patience and this journey of persistency and consistency is about being fully present in the moment. See, I don't have to wait for anything if I see it in my mind now. I don't have to wait for an end result to happen. I can experience it now. Now picture this. Let's say you want a convertible. And you want a convertible because of how it feels. All you have to do right now is close your eyes. Do that. Close your eyes. Now picture yourself pressing that button, and the top now comes completely down. There's sun, and it's about 68, 69 degrees out. A perfect temperature. You have on a light jacket just to take away a little bit of the chill. You're now on this incredible road in the middle of Tennessee, and the trees are all multicolored. The change is just perfect. It's like the first or second week of October. And as you're driving, for those of you who have hair, feel that hair being gently blown back. Feel the gentleness of the breeze on your face. Hear the music that you've got cranked up on the car. Feel what that's like now. See, most people, as you open your eyes now coming back, most people that have the convertible don't do what you just did in the last minute. See, you created the experience in your own mind, and that's what we can do on anything. The mind is what's powerful. The mind does not know what's real or what's perceived. It only knows what you're putting in front of it. So if you can embody that and be in the moment now, experiencing what you want now, you will feel fulfilled, and you'll be living from a place of feeling and being fulfilled. And when you're living from a place of being fulfilled, more must come to you because you're in that place of gratitude, because you're giving thanks for what's in your life, and the more that you're grateful, more must come. But if you're focusing on lack, what you don't have, what's wrong, you're going to attract that. So it's about patience and reward, about focusing on what you want. True joy comes from doing that which is in alignment with what we desire. Think about that. If you are joyful about something, it's because you're in alignment with it. Your inner being, that core about you that's unique, is in alignment with it. That gives you joy. When you're not in alignment with what you want, it will be miserable. So many times it's so fascinating, this idea of work. People don't have the dream job, their dream job. But if they simply understood and they shifted their perspective just a little bit and said, wait a second, I love doing this, and the job that I have gives me the means to do that. I've now linked doing that job to supporting my highest values. All of a sudden, the job doesn't look so bad. You see how that works? The job now becomes, this is a vessel for me to get what I want, to be who I want. And so when I embrace it that way, I no longer push against it, I no longer fight with it, but rather I accept it as supporting me, which is the purpose of a relationship. So the job and you have a relationship, you've got to find a way that the job is supportive of you expressing your freedom, of you expressing your uniqueness. And when you've done that, then all pain comes away from the job, and now you go to the job and you're your happy self, and when you're a happy self, more good things must come, and you'll either get a better job there or you'll attract a job from somewhere else. You see, that's the way you get a new job. It's becoming the person who's already in the job despite where you are. But that takes patience, because you've got to become that individual now. Not a week from now, you've got to become it now. This is one of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes. It is, there is a natural evolution in the demonstration of a prayer. In other words, the evolution comes from the mental image that we call in the mind of God to the experience happening in human form. So we can create the mental image in God right now, right here, now it's done in the mind. But there's time from here to the physical form. We haven't been able to this point move past certain laws that are biological or natural scientific laws. One would be, I could not use spiritual mind treatment, affirmations, meditation, in my experience to heal the fact that I had a hernia. I did everything I could. This was when I first became a practitioner. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm going to use this stuff. And for a year, I used this stuff on healing that hernia, and every day I was pushing it in. I was painful. I was pushing it in, pushing it in. Do you notice? What was I saying? It was painful, and I was pushing it in. So am I seeing it as healed already? No. So what I realized is I didn't have the spiritual coin that I chose to invest in that. So I said, okay, I'm going to go find the best doctor. I found the best doctor. And then what I said was, I'm going to heal in half the time. I could believe that. I just couldn't believe that I could put a mesh type thing or have my muscles come back together. You see, I couldn't believe that. And indeed, when I went back to the doctor at my 4-week checkup, instead of my 8-week checkup, he said, my God, you're healed. You can start back up. Your body did this miraculous healing. But you see, it took time. There was still the 4 weeks. It couldn't be Lee had surgery, next day Lee's exercising. No. There's time involved. There's a natural process in the evolution of any prayer. There's a natural process in us demonstrating new things in our lives. And we must understand that. If a relationship goes off the railroad tracks, as mine did with my wife in year 7, it took 2 years to get it back fully on the tracks. Because why? You have to rebuild trust. And trust is not rebuilt overnight. Trust is built over time. Do you hear that? And in almost every case, with any relationship we're in, we have betrayed our partner in some form or fashion. Therefore, the main tendency of us as humans is not to be trusting. And if I sat down with anyone here, I could prove that, because I would delve into your life and I would find out where is it you're not trusting. And it's because there's time involved in rebuilding of trust. And we must be patient as we do that. We must stay the course. Whew. It's a mouthful, huh? This idea of trust is really critical. And here's the person you've got to learn to trust the most. It's you. Because the person who's let you down the most is you. Because you've spoken your dreams out there, and then you haven't lived them. And the subconscious you hears that. And it says you're not worthy. And we keep doing it over and over. We set unrealistic expectations for ourselves. And then in the setting of that unrealistic expectation, we don't get it. You're not worthy. You don't deserve it. You're incapable. We start beating ourselves up. Instead of having an expectation appear and then being patient as you take step by step toward it. And when you're taking each step, you're fully present, feeling, just going back to the convertible idea, feeling what would it be like if I'm in that job? What would it be like if I'm in that relationship? What would it be like if I had perfect health? What would it be like? And you're always focusing on building that feeling. You're building it, you're building it, you're building it. And the next thing you know, it's in your life and you didn't even realize it demonstrated. It just happens that way. When you are patient, the reward must come. But the reward doesn't come unless you do the work. And the work is not with the other person. The work is within you. The power is in you. The greatest power is in you. It's not in a God outside of you. It's not in your partner, your parent, your child, or whoever. The power is in you. And when you embrace that, you are now living agape. You are living self-love. You are living in the ultimate state of heaven. Let's pray. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask that you go to our website, agapecsl.com. Once there, click on the donate button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. Or if you would like, text your gift by simply dialing 972-532-6976. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to you in the world. I would ask that if you like this message, to please subscribe to my YouTube channel under my name, Lee Wolak. Again, I want to thank you for joining me in the Agape community as we learn how to better self-love through conscious living.